Okay, welcome to the Netivot Shalom Shir. Tonight we're going to be talking about one of the very interesting but basic commandments in this week's Parsha of Tisah. And I'm just going to read you a few psukim from the Parsha. It starts, it's Shemos Lamed Aleph, starts with Pasuk 13. It says, V'ata daber al bnei Yisrael lemor. Hashem said to Moshe, you should speak to the children of Israel, saying, Ach es shabsosai tishmoru, you shall certainly keep my Sabbaths, plural. Ki oshi, because it is a sign, beini ubeinechem, between me and you, the dorosechem, through your generations, ladas, that you shall know, ki ani Hashem kadishchem, that I am the Lord your God who makes you holy. Now, there's a couple of things in that first sentence that the Netivot Shalom is going to be talking about. The first is the fact that it says, speak to the children of Israel. You can see why that's important in a minute. And the next is, it refers to Shabbosim, more than one Shabbos, Sabbaths. Now, the Torah goes on to say, Ushmartimus of Shabbos, you shall keep Shabbos, singular. Kikodosh Ulachem, it is holy to you. V'chalel mos yamus, of somebody who profanes it shall surely be put to death. That's assuming there's a witness warning him beforehand. Two witnesses, actually, not one. Whoever does work on Shabbos, that soul will be cut off from the Jewish people. Then it goes on to say, 6 days you shall do the work. On the seventh day is Shabbos, Kodesh LaHashem, it's holy to God. Whoever does work on Shabbos, does any of the prohibited things, assuming they've had a warning beforehand by two witnesses that if you do this, you're subject to the death penalty in a certain way, then they'll die. Then the next sentence, which is what we're going to be discussing, the next sentence and the first one I said is, V'shamru b'nei Yisrael, children of Israel shall keep es HaShabbos, to the Shabbos, lasos es HaShabbos, to observe the Shabbos, the Dorosam, through their generations, Beini, the Dorosam Bris Olam, through their generations, for a covenant forever. And then it says, Beini b'nei Yisrael osi li'olam, there should be a sign between me and b'nei Yisrael, ki sheish Yisrael also Hashem as Hashem, as far as Yom HaShvi, Shabbos v'nafesh, that I created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh day, and you should rest on the seventh day. So those are the psukim from the Chumash. Let's see what the Netivot Shalom says. And the key we're going to be looking for as we go through this is we're going to learn that in order to keep Shabbos, that it's not enough to just keep Shabbos. In other words, it's not enough to just not do the forbidden works. That's only part of it. But the other part, you have to make Shabbos. There's a positive thing that you must do, one must do to make Shabbos. It's not enough to just keep Shabbos, you have to make Shabbos. And that's the key. And you'll see as we go through this, it's a short Netivot Shalom, but it's so important. There are two different aspects of Shabbos. And the second aspect is the making of Shabbos. The first is the holiness of Shabbos. So let's see what he says. He repeats the sentence that I said at the beginning. Aches shabsosai tishmoru, you shall observe my Sabbaths, plural. Kiosi, it's a sign between me and you, the dorosechem, for the generations, ladas, to know. What kind of a sign? To know, ki ani Hashem kadishchem, that I am God who made you holy. Shabbos, you shall keep the Shabbos, ki kodosh hu lachem, and so on. because it's holy to you and you shouldn't profane it. The Shabbat B'nai Yisrael Shabbos, and the other pasuk says, B'nai Yisrael should keep the Shabbos, should observe the Shabbos, la'asot, to do, to make, la'asot et Shabbos adoroso b'risolam, to do, make Shabbos as a covenant forever. Sorach biyur, he says, we have to understand. Eshabsosai lashon rabim. The first thing says, ach eshabsosai refers to Sabbaths. It's a plural. Whereas b'shamru b'nei Yisrael, as Shabbos refers to one Shabbos. Why that difference? The ilu b'pasuk shel ach eshabsosai tishmoro lo kasiv b'nei Yisrael. In the first sentence that we said, it says that you shall keep my Sabbaths between me and you, but it doesn't mention B'nai Yisrael. Whereas the second pasuk, Shamru B'nai Yisrael, mentions B'nai Yisrael. So why is that? And similarly, Ma Shalahalon Kasiv, why is it written later on, Shamru B'nai Yisrael says Shabbos, La Sos says Shabbos. Later it's written as one of the other sukkim that I read, you should keep the Shabbos, to do the Shabbos, to make the Shabbos. Why doesn't the word of doing and making Shabbos appear in the first sentence? So those are the questions that the Netivot Shalom asks. Yesh Lomer, and it can be said, that's Shabsosai Tishmoro Romez al Shtei Bechinos Sheyesh B'Shabbos. The language of Shabsosai, my Sabbath you shall keep, hints at two different aspects of Shabbos. Bechinas Aleph, the first one is the Oshi Beini V'Emenei Yisrael, Beini V'Einechem, that Shabbos is a sign. Shabbos is a sign between God and between you. What kind of a sign? L'das ki ani Hashem mikadeshchem, to know that I am God who made you holy. Shenyanu Shabbos, Shekula Kodesh Kadashim, Yitrot Del Ella, the whole aspect of Shabbos, we receive a power from above, a holiness from above, that lights up the mind, the heart, and the limbs, very limbs of a Jew with this holiness. And the hint, when it says, you will know that I am God who sanctified you, made you holy, as he said, Shemidas Das, the concept, the quality of Das, of knowledge, Yanu Mizug Moach is a partnership, like a joining together of the heart and the mind. Kedisa B'Zohar Kodesh, as the Holy Zohar says, the Chochma Mocha Ubina Liba, that wisdom is in the mind and understanding is in the heart. Das hi aklola shel Chochma Ubina. The Das is the combination. Knowledge is the combination of both wisdom and understanding. Wisdom of the mind, understanding of the heart. That's what it means, that you shall know I am God who made you holy. Shabbos Kodesh, because Shabbos makes holy and lights up the Jew, b'chochma mocha, with wisdom of the mind, uvavina liba, and understanding of the heart. Shayiluch machshavto b'deosav mishtanot, because what happens is on Shabbos, your very thought process, your very knowledge changes. Hu makabel moach acher, you receive, as it were, a different mind. Moach shel Shabbos, a mind of Shabbos. Kmokein, yesh lo rageshes acherim, but shukos acheros. And similarly, there's different feelings. There's a different feeling when you're in Shabbos than anywhere else. You have the feeling of this longing, a different kind of longing for Shabbos. And afterwards, it's written, Shabbos, you shall observe Shabbos because it is holy to you. And so on. Somebody who profanes it is subject to the death penalty. Shabbos, Hashaychus Averim, not Averim, Avarim. This is the aspect of Shabbos that is connected to your limbs. Shigam kol ha'avorim yiskadshu b'kedushas Shabbos. All of your limbs are holy with the holiness of Shabbos. And we talked before about the incorporation of your very limbs, your very muscles, your bones, every part of your body into the observance of Hashem. As we've taught before, that Kalatz Mosai Tumarnu Hashem. All of your limbs are speaking out, God, you are wonderful, how wonderful God is. We talked about before the Emunah, the different levels of Emunah. You had an intellectual Emunah, emotional Emunah, and Emunah of the Evorim. So now we're talking about the Kedusha, the holiness of your very Evorim. Shabbos is so holy that it brings holiness to all your bodily parts. Zehu Perush Mechalel Moshe. That's what it means. Those who profane it are subject to die. And understand, so you don't get confused. The Torah prescribes severe penalties for the violation of melachas of Shabbos. But as in any penalty that is imposed by the Torah, before a penalty can be imposed, the would-be transgressor has to be given a warning by two competent witnesses in advance, saying, you can't do this, this is against the law, and if you do this, you will be subject to the death penalty. And not only will you be subject to the death penalty, but you'll be subject to the death penalty by this following means. So it's a pretty strict thing to ever put anybody in a position of dying, being killed. But the law is there, and Hashem give us these laws and to tell us the seriousness of it. What it means is somebody who profanes is somebody who makes Shabbos not unholy. Is I guess a good word to use. Who makes Shabbos unholy. Chilel Shabbos. You're profaning Shabbos. Yeshlom Rizal Piyomer, you can say, Shakavana lepokem b'shleimus haShabbos. What you are doing is you are causing a defect in the completion, in the completeness of Shabbos. Shabbos should be complete, consisting of the holiness of your mind, which gives you wisdom, the holiness of your heart, which gives you understanding, the combination of which is knowledge, and then the added to that of the Evorim. All those three things, your limbs, all those things should be holy. And when that happens, then you have made all of Shabbos holy. Then it's complete. The completion is when the mind is holy with the holiness of Shabbos. Halev kadosh b'kedushas Shabbos. The heart is holy with the holiness of Shabbos. V'gam b'evorim shora kedushas Shabbos. And also your limbs are full of the holiness of Shabbos. It sounds like what I just said. He must have heard me what I was going to say before he wrote it. I don't understand. or maybe I saw it first. The latter is the one. She'ein shum chilal shel chulin. Chilal, we're not talking about the weekday necessarily. Zeh bechinas Shabbos she b'si hashlemus. The aspect of Shabbos is if you are interfering with the perfection of it. The second aspect of Shabbos, and this is the one that I wanted to concentrate on. Even Shamru b'nei Yisrael as a Shabbos lasos as a Shabbos. Children of Israel should keep the Shabbos, to do the Shabbos, to make Shabbos. She bechinas yoter nemucha al pi dargasim shel bnei Yisrael al pi arachim. Because this is the aspect, no matter how low you are in the ladder, in your own particular value, your own particular worth, no matter how low you have fallen, Shidraga HaShabbos hi lasos HaShabbos. The level of Shabbos is to make Shabbos. Lasos et HaShabbos, to make the Shabbos. Bechinas olam ha'asuya, hadraga hanemucha. The aspect of the world of doing, which is the world that we're in now. The world of Asuya gives us a chance of doing things and making things and fixing things that can lift us out of the depths. Shabbos shel merema Yehudi b'makomo u'ma'amado. Shabbos has the ability to lift a person, to lift a Jew from whatever depths he's in, whatever matzav, whatever difficulty that Jew is in. Shabbos has the ability to lift him out of that. Shabbos can lift him from that. Chomer Hazal, and the sages tell us, Kol HaShomer Shabbos Kilchaso, anybody who observes Shabbos according to its true meaning of Shabbos, even if he's the greatest idol worshiper like the generation of Enosh, he's forgiven. But remember, when it's talking about Shomer Shabbos, it's including the definition we just gave, to make Shabbos. Because Shomer Shabbos isn't enough to just keep Shabbos, just refrain from doing those things you're prohibited from. Means you got to make something special out of Shabbos. You got to do something special. You got to make yourself a kli, a vessel, to receive the light of Shabbos. You know, I think we probably mentioned it maybe in last week's year, when the world was created, the light was so great on the first day that the vessels that were supposed to receive the light were broken. They couldn't hold the light. On Shabbos, we have the opportunity to be a part of that vessel to receive that light, that special organus, the light that was hidden away at the beginning. But it takes doing. You have to do it. So that's what it means here. If you observe it according to the halacha, that you want to give pleasure to God, that's the key. Koach HaShabbos matzilo. The power of Shabbos will save you from everything that you want. As you're in Shabbos, Rabboni Shalom, I want to do what you want us to do on Shabbos. I want to make this a special day because you've given us this gift of Shabbos. I want to be able to receive this light of Shabbos, to live within this bubble of the light of Shabbos, the bubble of the environment of Shabbos, and spread it to the world. I want to do what is pleasing to you. Then this power of Shabbos will save you. Bechinas elu, the explanation of this concept. Rumezes Madamer Zemer Ya'echsov. There's a beautiful song that is said on Friday night, that is sang on Friday night. It's Ya'echsov, which every time I try to sing it, I mess up the tune. So I try to avoid it, but it sort of starts. After that, I lose the tune. But anyway, this is a beautiful Zemer on Friday night. And what does it mean? The words that it says Hashabbos, Noam Hanashamos. Shabbos is pleasure for the soul. Bashvi, Oneg Haruchos. The seventh day is a joy for the spirit. The Eden Hanafashos, and a sweet relief for the soul. To spread relief through the love and fear of God. Shabbos Kodesh Nafshi Cholos Havosech. The Holy Shabbos, my soul is sick over my love for you, Hashem. Meruma is l'Shabbos. This hints at Shabbos shebechinas ruchnios shabaruchnios. It hints at Shabbos being the highest of the highest spirituality. Bechinas nafshi cholos havosech. If you think of the greatest love that you can have for first of all for a person, and then multiply that, how much more you have to have that for God. We've heard the expression lovesick. So you have to be lovesick over Shabbos. And after that, Shabbos Kodesh Nafshos Yisrael B'Tzel Kenufech Yachzayun. After that, when you reach that level, then the souls of Israel sit in the shade of your wings that protect us. Yachzayun, protection, a shelter. That word Yachzayun, it should sound a little bit familiar with all that's been going on, because it's the same word as chisayon, as a vaccination. Vaccination comes from it, but we see that the real protection is yichasayon, from God. Under your wings, God will protect you. Marum is l'Shabbos b'pchinas hayoter nemucha. It hints at a Shabbos which maybe it's on a lower level. Shekadlo nizkaru shum madregos. You haven't reached the level yet. Rak mashim amin shenafoshes Yisrael b'tzel knafech yachzayun. The way to get you to the right level is to believe that Shabbos gives you the opportunity to sit in the wings, under the wings of God, the shades of the wings of God, so to speak, that protect you from anything. No matter how low you have fallen, the tikkun, the remedy, is to use the power of Shabbos to get you out. God gives us this special power. That's why He's told Moshe, "This is a gift. Give me this gift." Shabbos is there whether you want it or not. You can choose to make Shabbos or not make Shabbos, but you cannot choose whether or not you're going to be in Shabbos. That's there. The Isam of Mechilta Khan al Kasu, and the Mechilta says on this sentence, so Shabbos, you shall observe the Shabbos lasos, to make Shabbos, the Doros of Ukrainian generations. Rabbi says, call him Mishamer Shabbos Achas. Rebbe says, if somebody only observes one Shabbos, Mala olav akasuv keilu shomer Shabbosus yom shebara kadosh baruch hu esolamu ad sheyichdu meisi. If one observes one Shabbos properly, Rebbe says that's the equivalent of somebody observing every single Shabbos from the day of creation until the resurrection of the dead. Shinemar says, "V'shomru b'nei Yisrael," so Shabbos, God shall, the children of Israel shall keep the Shabbos. I knew Shabbos Achas, one Shabbos, the Doros Ambaris Olam, for generations forever. That is a goal, to try to have that one Shabbos. I always keep saying I'm trying to be able to say one bracha with the proper kavanah. I haven't reached it yet. I'm trying to have one Shabbos with the right kavanah, with the kavanah this is talking about. These are all steps that we can take to get there. But it's a big goal because once you've done it, it's like, wow. So that's what Rabbi says. Below Shaykh, I skipped a line. V'yesh lomer, habir b'zeh, you have to understand this, the shoresh of Shabbos hu l'mala min hazman. The root of Shabbos is above time. Lo Shaykh chiluk ben Shabbos achas l'shvuos harba, l'Shabbos harbe. There's no difference between one Shabbos and many Shabbosim. Shekol Shabbosos heim be'etzem yechida achas shel kadosh kadoshim sheShabbos Shema. Every Shabbos is like one unity of holiness with Shabbos and with God. Balkain call Shomer Shabbos achas ketikuno nechshav lo keilu kim kol Shabbosos. Therefore, if you have this madregos, it's like you kept all of the Shabbosim. When it says ketikuna in accordance with how it's supposed to be, the Shomer Shabbos bechitzoniot, the person who observes Shabbos outwardly, shenishmar rak memlechas hasuras for Shabbos, who only keeps himself from doing those prohibited works on Shabbos, umeduyak b'lashon ketikuna, and from the language of doing it properly, it's the mi shomer Shabbos b'chitzonim shnishma rak melachas Shabbos. If you're only doing refraining from the work, as lo kol Shabbos he devar nefrad b'zman nefrad. Every Shabbos then is separate. There's no different. They're all different from one another. They're all separate Shabbosim. You haven't done it. And in fact, I'm just going to add something in a minute. Shomer Shabbos ketikona, but if you do it according to what it's supposed to be, as you make Shabbos instead of just keeping Shabbos, you make Shabbos. The penimios inside of you, the shorish of Shabbos Kodesh, the root of the holy Shabbos. Shom kol Shabbosos hein Shabbos achas. Shem kol Shabbosos hein Shabbos. Then all of the Shabbosot are like one Shabbos. Elsewhere in Netivot Shalom, he also says that the person who observes Shabbos just outwardly by not doing the forbidden works, but doesn't really get involved in the joy of Shabbos. He's looking at are there 3 stars yet? Is Shabbos over? He's talking about the stock market. He's doing anything but talking about Shabbos. That person, yes, he's going to get a reward for keeping Shabbos. It gives an example. He says, in Olam Haba, in the world to come, he'll be sitting on the bench. He'll be benched, watching everybody else who had the oneg Shabbos, or the joy of Shabbos, sitting in a circle around God. So, yes, you'll be rewarded, but you'll be on the outside, just as your intentions of Shabbos, your keeping of Shabbos was on the outside. So we don't want that. We want to get to the inside. And this is what it means to do the Shabbos, to make Shabbos. Whatever level you're on, even a small level, this is the Shabbos, you can do it. Im Yehudi mekaymo b'pnimios halev, bilti l'Hashem levadu. It's all in your heart. If a Jew will fulfill in the inner part of his heart and know that everything is for God, then ma'lo akasu keilu kayim kol haShabbos miyom brias ha'olam v'ad tchias meis. Then, if you're in that level where everything in Shabbos is solely to please God and to have joy by sitting with God in this bubble of Shabbos, then it's like a unique Shabbos. Because then you will have come to the root of the holy Shabbos. This is an opening, a key for the Jew to come into Shabbos. When you think about what has happened about all of the week until you come into Shabbos, Yada inush v'nafshe, and a person knows in himself. We call mashani snahi shalokaroi. He knows all the things. He or she knows all the things they have done improperly during the week, that they have not done things properly, that they have not followed the will of God. Harimetocho amuna, through this faith, shemami b'kocho shel Shabbos, that you believe in the power of Shabbos. Asher Shabbos kodesh nafshos Yisrael b'tzel k'nefechi Yisrael. If you believe that the holy Shabbos provides a shelter, a protection for the Jew to sit under the wings of God. Shabbos kodesh beganeu matzali kasher husham. The holy Shabbos protects us and saves us, whatever level we're on. In other words, you don't have to worry and say, well, how do I get into Shabbos? You get into Shabbos by getting out of the week. The week is behind. When Friday night comes, you should think, I've completed everything I had to do. It's done. And then you're going into Shabbos, whatever level you are. And don't worry, don't think, well, I can't reach that high level. You don't have to start on a high level. Start at whatever level you are. And that's what it says. If you have this belief, this emunah, that Shabbos gives you this protection wherever you are, whatever level you're on, then niftachim lefonav sharei kedusha, the gates of holiness will open before you. Ora lo hayir lo kol machshav bechashchei lev, and light will come in to light up all the darkness of your heart. Over ora yira or, and through this light of Shabbos, you will see and feel the light. Feel the light of Shabbos. So our message from this little Torah is that we have to work hard on making every Shabbos special. You should, when you're asked about how was this past Shabbos, you should be able to sincerely say, this was the best Shabbos I ever had. Because you should work each Shabbos to make it better than the next. Because there's a long way to go. But it's not beyond us. It's not out of our reach. It's for us to do. And we have the choice of how we do it. Let's choose right. Thank you for listening. And I wish everybody, first of all, a happy Purim Katan. There's 2 Adars this year. This is the first Adar. So there's none of the halachas of Purim happen in this month. It's all in the second month of Adar. But nonetheless, if this were the real Adar, only the one Adar, this would have been Purim today. And tomorrow would be Shushan Purim. Tonight would be Shushan Purim. So anyway, the rabbis have decreed that at least to recognize the similarity today and tomorrow in shul, we didn't say some of the things that are sad, such as tachna, or that are more serious. Anyway, so I wish everybody, now we have to really get ready for the real Purim, to really be sumeach, to bring that joy of Purim into our hearts. But in the meantime, let's work on bringing the joy of Shabbos into our hearts. Thanks. I'm going to stop the screen share, and I'm going to stop the recording. If anybody has any comments before I stop the recording, let me know. Otherwise, I'll stop it. Then you can comment if you want. Any comments? Questions? Okay, hold on a moment.